Soul Fam impromptu live here. I just felt the nudge. There's some messages wanting to come through. I just finished recording some messages for our private soul tribe, our Patreon community. As always, I will put that link in the pinned comments below. I think it'll also be in the description box. We will see how this goes. But this will give me the opportunity to kind of dive into the messages. I will show you the format, the layout for how our Patreon messages, our private soul tribe. So it's a private community. So unlike Facebook and Instagram, you don't have to see the ads of social media. And it's a smaller tribe. So whereas our collective messages, I just tap into the collective energy, which you can think of as the most popular, right? The average, when you take the average sum of all, it's the messages that will probably reach the most. But when you get in our private soul tribe, it's an even smaller tribe. And so those messages are even more likely to be directed for you, directed at you. So yes, when you join our private soul tribe, between 100 and 120 minutes of FaceTime with me a month, approximately. There's usually about 3 video messages like this a week, and then also affirmations, inspiration, guidance. I read a lot. I spend several hours in the morning on my own personal development, so it just depends on what comes through for me. I just saw 1, 2, 3 as well. I spend a lot of time working on my inner world, and so because again, as within, so without, or not as again, but it's one of those things I say often. We can only elevate as far as we have went deep with ourselves. The more we know ourselves, the more we are able to relate to others, to see things from a higher perspective, etc. Also going to be offering, you can book a live reading with me always. The calendar is in the description box as well, but now I'm going to be offering 10-minute channeled messages as well. So if you would like a message that is directly for you and your personal experience, your personal life, yes, we can do that as well. Send me a message, reach out, drop a comment below, and I will reach out to you for how we can go about doing that. But yes, it'll be a pre-recorded message, and I will send you a 10-minute channeled message, whether I send you that via email, Facebook, depends on what platform. I've used WhatsApp as well, so it depends on what country you're at. I want to do whatever works best for you, so I have lots of options. So yes, know that, there are some that want the personal reading, but they don't want to be on a live call with me, and so this would eliminate that. This would give you the option to get a personal message without having to be there. It'll just be sent to you. But yes, let's tap in, see what we can know. What can I tell the viewers watching here? Yes, moon, take note of intuitive messages. That's beautiful. We have this solar eclipse, new moon coming up. We've, if you're like the rest of us, we've spent much time purging over the last several weeks, over the last 8-9 months of the year, right? Over the last several years, if you've been on this healing journey for a hot minute. I love it. So we have, take note of intuitive messages, trust your guidance, take the time to go within. Summer, bask in joy and light here. Take the time to go outside. Light, information, awareness, consciousness, all the same thing, right? Learn from spiritual experiences here. Yes, know that we can be headed real fast in one direction, but if it's not the right direction, if we aren't aligned with our soul, we can be heading real quick to nowhere. So that speaks on alignment over speed. Only go as fast as you can stay aligned. Only go as fast as you can stay connected to your internal reservoir, right? Because again, if we're misaligned, everything we are doing from that space will be tainted, and we will just have to course correct, make it up anyway. So yeah, retreat and recharge if you are feeling off. Again, go within until you're feeling like your soul self again. This was just coming through for our Patreon message on not eliminating the ego, but asking the ego to take a seat, to slide over, right? To slide from the driver's seat to the passenger seat. This era, this new timeline, I was like, what word am I looking for? This new stage, leg of our journey that we are stepping into, we are allowing our soul to take the lead, and again, not eliminating our ego, our humanness that serves us at times as well. But if we allow our mind to control us, become the master, that's when we trip ourselves up. That's when we again have to course correct, right? Because our mind will make us will convince us that there isn't enough, that we have to struggle, sacrifice, that we have to compete, whereas our soul knows there's always more than enough, right? Our eternalness, that we are sufficient unto ourselves, that abundance is an energy, a state of being that we come from, not something we look to achieve from the outside. And this is this purpose, attunement, vision quest. This is this new understanding we are stepping into, right? Nothing in the external will satisfy us if we aren't filled within. And adjustment here, looking back to move forward. This speaks on now is not the time to push forward, even though you're feeling that urgency. Instead, check in with yourself, discover why you are feeling that urgency, why you believe you don't have the time, right? Again, ask yourself, is your mind, is your survival drivers taking over? And opening heart here, deep connections, water, blessings. While you are taking that time and space, go in nature, go to water, allow yourself to crack open. Remind yourself that things are never happening to you, but for your benefit here. And this is that the soul radiance phoenix rising. This is that from victim to victor mindset, knowing that all things are working out for us, and wanting to step into that self-responsibility, self-accountability, self-actualization role versus the victim mentality. Remembering we do have power, we do have choices, and we can, again, get our ego, get our humanness on board to work for our soul. It's not that we're eliminating it, we're just, we're maturing, and so we are not allowing it to run the show any longer. Think of like in your adolescent, juvenile stage, when you let your ego run the show, when you just reached after any temporary pleasure, right? And with maturity, wisdom, stepping into our soul self, stepping into our adult version, right? We don't follow all of those whims. We make sure we are aligned. We focus on long-term stability. We are willing to sacrifice some of our human, quote unquote, needs, wants, desires in order to satisfy our soul, knowing that that soul satisfaction lasts for eternity, right? Whereas those temporary pleasures, we need to continually go back to them for more. You require more, right? Tolerance. So yes, dust devil here, stepping out of stagnation, stars in the sky, limitless possibility, and luck and right timing. I love it. And this is, we weren't going through those things forever and ever more, right? It was to learn the things. So we have this resilience. So we have this control over the mind. So even though those desires still pop in, right? Again, we aren't eliminating the ego. We can hear it, witness it, and say, thank you, but I choose differently. I choose again. I choose from my soul instead. And I just saw 818. I can't believe I've been rambling for that long. Let's get a little bit more for us here from the shadow work deck. And then maybe I will leave us with an abundance affirmation. Yeah. And as we solidify, call back these soul fragments, forgive ourselves for the things, the ways we maybe survived in the past, right? This is this disowned self, root girl, calling back our soul fragments so we are whole from within. This is this sky bridge possibility for union as we solidify this union within. So too comes the union without. So I think on that, let's get a little tarot story here. Thinking out loud. What can we know about as we solidify this inner union, what can we expect on the outside here? Yeah. Walk by faith, not by sight, knowing we are planting the seeds. Again, it's the energy, right? We don't have to see it to know that it's coming together. Yeah. 3 of Wands and the Emperor. I love it. So opportunities incoming. And as we solidify this inner union, right, we have our stable base, our safe base. That's our own divine masculine energy here, intertwined with our divine feminine. So we create, but only from an aligned space. We are the own emperor of our own life. And with that, we are ready to draw in an emperor in the external or maybe solidify, change the agreements of a current relationship, because that can happen too, right? If you're both doing the work. I love it. The Hierophant, the student and the teacher both. This can signify spiritual tradition. It can also signify stepping away from spiritual tradition, right? These new unions not being the way we have always been taught, right? We are here to lay the new foundation, new relationship blueprints based on unconditional love, not on need, right? And that ties in beautifully with the Communion with God book I'm reading. Need, insufficiency, lack, none of those things exist. They are all illusions. And when we begin to know that, then we can step into the new here, trust ourselves. This Two of Pentacles speaks on balance, balancing in the new. And yes, you may feel like you're blinded, that you don't know which step to go, but if you trust the energy, know that your energy speaks louder than your words. Travel lightly here. If you are experiencing a shift, things beginning to move forward for you, now is not the time to tell the world about it. Keep it to yourself. Focus on the energy. Know that the universe witnesses your intentions, witnesses your desires, that co-creation with spirit, and you don't need to advertise it, broadcast it. Your energy, your manifestations will speak for themselves, I'm hearing. Let's get a divine abundance message for us here. Yeah. Trust in the divine flow and trust in the changes you are being presented with. Know that you are ready for expansion, up-leveling. If you were not ready, you wouldn't be presented with this opportunity. So there we go. I'm sending so much love. I'm doing this on my phone here, and I don't even know how to end this. Let's see. Well, I'm going to hit the X and hope I don't lose it all together. There we go. This is the stop button. So, yes, if you have certain questions, things you are wanting to know, drop a comment below. I will probably, I'm hoping to do a few more of these messages, but we shall see. This was totally random. Follow the nudges. No, you don't need to see the divine plan. Yeah, do the thing, create because it feels good in the moment, and release expectations, outcomes. Like for this, I have no idea where this is going to lead, but I trust that someone needed a message, or I would not have been nudged for this. We have get grounded, highly sensitive, connect with nature, and double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. I love that. So yes, sunshine, allow yourself to absorb these light codes, this information, and then allow yourself the time to integrate what you are receiving as well. And again, drop the urgency. Know that aligned action is the only action we want to take. Otherwise, we are going to have to go back and fix things anyways. And I mean, it's all divine. If that happens, again, don't beat yourself up for that either. Everything happens for a reason, and everything happens for our benefit. So keep reminding yourself of that.